Hey, what's up, boys and girls? Today is just another day where I hop into a buddy of mine's private lesson that he's giving to one of his students. Every now and then, I think I've said this before in another video, every now and then he asks me to kind of just come in and I don't know, get a little exercise with some of his lessons, so he can, I guess, kind of give a little bit more instructions, personal instructions to his students, and have them hit against kind of like, I guess, a bigger ball. Even though I'm hitting, I've started coming out and hitting lefty at his lessons, so I'm kind of getting in some lefty reps. I'm still keeping up. I'm still hitting except for that one. That one's awful. But I'm still hitting a good enough ball to where I feel like I'm giving him a good enough run for his money in terms of power, depth, and topspin. And I do switch back to not forehand, but righty after probably about half of the lesson. Just because I get so tired when I'm hitting lefty, it's foreign to me. So my body is a lot more stressed and my mind is a lot more stressed. So like everything, all my muscles are tense constantly throughout the points, that I'm losing energy just so quickly as compared to if I were to play righty. I'm just very relaxed. I've done this for years. I don't need to think. I don't need to worry about anything. But when I go back to lefty, it's like, I run out of breath so quickly. And it's also the mental aspect too, because I'm constantly thinking of my grip and my footwork. Am I gripping it right? Am I gripping the racket right? Where am I remembering where to put my hands on the bevels correctly? And then I'm also trying to think of the footwork too, and getting my footwork right for playing lefty. And it really only I only have really a problem with it on the backhand side. The forehand side, I'm fine with my footwork. I mean, that's not, it's not perfect by any means, but for a guy that's played his whole life playing right-handed and now he's playing left-handed, it's pretty good on the forehand side. But the backhand side, I need a solid at least hour lesson of somebody just feeding backhands to me so I can get the foot pattern right. I still get I feel like I'm still tripping over myself if I have to run forward and hit a ball or go out wide to hit a ball. But to go back to the stress thing and losing energy because I'm constantly thinking of my footwork and my grip, and my body is tense because this is such like a foreign kind of thing to me playing lefty. I run out of energy just super quick, so it's weird. It's the way that I kind of rest is switching to right-handed and just playing right-handed, because I could do that all day. I mean, I've done it enough and I'm relaxed enough and I know how to relax when I'm not hitting the ball in a point. So like if a point's going on, I hit. I know how to just, in those couple seconds you have to before the ball comes back to you, I'm really just relaxed. And that's not the case on my left hand. I'm hitting the ball and my body is still tight. I'm still thinking about my grip. I'm still thinking about my footwork, and I'm anticipating the shot coming next. And that gives me it doesn't give me any time to really breathe and take a second. And the worst part about it is you're so focused on what you're doing, and you're not focusing on what your opponent's doing or what they're doing on the other side. or where you're placing the ball, or the strategy that you're going to kind of use. You're just solely focused on having the right grip. Yeah, this is just me crashing somebody's lesson and getting some lefty reps in, or as many lefty reps in as I can, until I can't keep up with that anymore, and I changed to right-handed. We end up playing a set at the end of this private lesson, and I play with the right hand, just because I would feel bad because I can't really keep up too much right now with my left hand, even though that's the end goal, is to be able to not only play a set, but, you know, win matches against people left-handed. I think I have, oh no, I edited the set out, and this is just us practicing. I didn't get a lot of the practice because the camera cut off again today. It's like, even though it was 5, we played 5 to 7 p.m. And then the sun's kind of down, and it was really cloudy. It was still hot enough to where the camera kept kind of overheating, which I have a fix for now, so I don't plan on the camera overheating anymore, but again, I still got to test that out. But back to playing lefty, I kind of had a little bit of a breakthrough with my backhand, even though if you watch me hit my backhand here, it looks really uncoordinated. But I figured out that what I thought I was doing, I really wasn't doing, and that was the windshield wiper kind of rotation with the right arm. Not always, but recently thought I was doing it and doing it effectively, but something else was wrong. But I really focused on when I was hitting the lefty backhand, and I realized that I'm still not rolling over the ball. And it's mostly due to what I think is I'm still catching the ball a little too early. I need to let that ball come to me a little bit more and sit a little bit more kind of in my pocket, so to speak, figuratively and literally. I kind of want that ball the ball height to be in pocket area, where my pocket is on my right side, and I want it to be, I want to almost catch that ball late. I do want to do a little bit, you can kind of see it here, where I'm catching the backhand, and it's, if you look at it, it's almost to my back right shoulder. It's almost to my right shoulder when I'm turned to the right. That's how late I like to catch my backhands, just because it feels, mechanically, it feels so much better. And that was a problem I had for a long time, was catching that backhand too early and not being patient enough and letting that ball come to me more, along with the rotation, the rotation of the right forearm and shoulder to create that windshield effect. And I did have another breakthrough where I figured out where my grip should be. And it sounds really stupid because I always hit my right-handed backhand, and I know where that grip, where I always grip, and where it's kind of like, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I have a pretty good right-handed backhand. So taking pointers from my right-handed backhand, I feel like it shouldn't have been that hard to figure out the grip, but for some reason it was. And I now know where to keep my grip. I'll have to make a video showing and explaining where I keep my fingers and hands. That sounds stupid, but you know what I mean. But if you were to see my grip and then see my racket face, you would notice that my racket face is, I don't think you can really see in this because I don't know if I'm doing it correctly yet. I don't know if I had that breakthrough yet here, but my face, racket face, is very much open. And that was the problem I was having, is every time I would hit my backhand, my lefty backhand, I would constantly think that the face was open too much, so I would close it, and that would be a different grip than my right-handed backhand. And this all sounds really stupid because it's like, you know, almost feels like day one kind of stuff, but I was just having a really hard time having that click in my head. So now that I open up that racket face even more, I let that ball come back to my right shoulder a little bit more. What I mean is later. And I'm not quite doing it in this video, but I need to open up more to my right, if that makes any sense. I know some words I say might mean something to me, but might mean something completely different to whoever's listening to this. But I'm still too square with the court, with my shoulders. Like, my shoulders are still too square to my opponent on the backhand, and I need to turn more to where my chest is pointing more towards, if you can see, the fence to my right. And not a lot, but a little bit more, I feel like. And then once all those mechanics come into place, come into like harmony, I think I'll be catching that lefty backhand a lot better. Now, I feel like what I've been saying right now makes absolutely no sense to whoever's listening to this. It's almost not making any sense to me, but I kind of know what I'm thinking about. It would be a lot easier to make a video and just explain this, but I wanted to kind of say what I had to say about it while it was fresh in my head, and I'm just off the court and I can kind of remember all of this. But I'm gonna try to make a video explaining the backhand a little bit more. I know I've done videos on backhands before, but I kind of have a little bit new philosophy on backhands, and it's hard to, well, not hard to, but it feels really stupid to say that I think I have a really good right-handed backhand, but not being able to properly explain why I think I have a really good righty backhand. But now that I've been practicing lefty and trying to teach myself lefty, I now have a very good idea in my head of what makes a good two-handed backhand. I really would like to make a video going in depth about the two-handed backhand, my philosophies, not philosophies, that sounds stupid, my kind of checklists of what I think somebody needs to be thinking about and doing while hitting a two-handed backhand. In order to get a kind of pure two-handed backhand where it's just clean. Because I will say, like, nothing feels better than hitting a really good two-handed backhand. Like, forehands feel good. Like, yeah, forehands, you can really rip them. You have all that wingspan, you know, and they look good. But for some reason, when you really learn how to hit a two-handed backhand, and it just comes off the racket face, like, flush, there's almost no better feeling in the world. Like, returning with a two-handed backhand when someone's, like, really dropping bombs on you feels amazing. Like, I don't really care for returning with forehands, but I love returning with two-handed backhands. Mostly because, I mean, you're using two arms. So, like, yeah, you don't have the wingspan, but when someone is, like, dropping a flat first serve at you into your body closer to the backhand side, I mean, it is so easy to just return that off the backhand. Forehand, it's a little bit harder because of the leverages, but with the backhand, since you're gripped up so much higher on the grip, you get so much more control of the racket, and you're a lot stronger in that position. So, like, when people, and it's mostly, I would say, yeah, I guess American tennis players that just like to crank first serves to the backhand, and all you do, well, not all you do, but once you learn how to return with a two-handed backhand, it is just the simplest thing in the world. I'm making it, I think I'm making it a little too sound too easy, but it, at the end of the day, it kind of is easy to return with a two-handed backhand, especially if somebody's ripping shots at you. When someone's hitting a serve and it's a lot slower, yeah, then you actually kind of got to go to work and use your footwork and bend down a little bit. But there's no easier shot in my mind than when someone hits a flat first serve into the body closer to the backhand side. It's just really easy. I mean, as long as you know what to do. And most of the time, like, well, what the main things are when returning with a two-handed backhand is when it's, you know, coming into your body, is one, you gotta get your hips out of the way, because if you don't, your left arm, well, if you're hitting right-handed backhands, your left arm needs to kind of be able to, man, it's really hard to explain this when I'm not on camera showing you, but your left arm needs to be down more, at more of the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock area. So it's really important to get your hips out of the way, getting those hips to the right. So you're going to have to kind of not jump up, but lift off on your toes and shoot your hip out to the right, so you can get that left arm into the 6, 7, or 8 o'clock position, depending on where that serve's coming into. But if you can do that, that's kind of like one of the strongest positions I feel like you can have your arm in. So it doesn't matter how hard somebody hits a serve at you, you're getting that back. It's not a question of like, are you going to get it over the net because there's not enough power. It's just using their power to get that ball back to their side as quick as possible. And you're not taking a full swing with the return backhand too. I know I'm getting on kind of a tangent right now, but again, you're not taking a full swing. You're only taking that racket back as far as your peripheral vision. If you're taking that, if you can't see your racket head past your peripheral vision where you can't see it, you're taking it back too far. There's just too much time. The ball is coming too quickly off of their serve, and you're going to probably be late. You need to just take really just back to your peripheral and kind of punching. You're punching and you're windshield wipering across that ball. You're not getting fancy with it. You're not trying to get too whippy with it after the stroke, and you're not taking it back behind your head. You're not taking the racket back behind your head or anything. It's just returning backhands. The best way to put it is just keeping it very simple. Because the more complex you get with that return, the more possibilities for something wrong to happen. Same thing with the serve, but that's a different kind of topic. Now, if you're playing against somebody that really likes to kick the ball or has a very slow serve, okay, now we have to, like, we can't just punch the ball back. We got to take a little bit more of a bigger swing. This is all really for just guys that hit big serves and you just can't figure out how to return it. it's big serves. Just think if somebody's got a big serve, make your return as simple as possible. And then the slower that serve starts coming, then you start complicating your swing a little bit more, if that makes any sense. But with a little bit more of a backswing, a little bit more of a follow through. You know what I mean. But yeah, anyways, to get back to kind of what I was, well, not get back to, but kind of wrap it up a little bit. The lefty game is starting to come in a little bit more. Starting to feel a lot more confident in my shots. I need to work on conditioning on the lefty side more. I know it sounds a little weird, but it's kind of true. And anyways, I think this video is starting to wrap up, so I'm gonna shut up for now and say peace, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.